JAHLOSONATION, I'm back at it again. Man, I'm going to do as much coverage as I can when it comes to this because now it's coming out now more of what needs to be exposed, but we will have more exposure the more the files are being conducted and investigated and being put out there for the public view to see. As you can see them faces on my thumbnails, they all have everything to do with Epstein. You know what? I gotta agree with Ticket TV. Epstein was like a god. He had everybody. He knew everything. He controlled, maneuvered, and saw everything. And these are just a little bit of just the people that are involved in the Epstein, you know what I'm saying, chaos and feud and also investigation. There is nothing that they can do now to hide it and to hide these files and to the world not seeing or believing that these dudes and these people are really sick. They are real demonic, diabolical, evil people that perform these satanic rituals in this island that Epstein owns. And I'm going to tell you something, Bill Clinton and Miss Hillary Clinton were very much associated, you understand what I'm saying, with Mr. Epstein. They were cool with Mr. Epstein. They partied with Mr. Epstein. They engaged in nasty, disgusting activities with Mr. Epstein. Everybody that are now against Epstein said that it was Epstein who was the monster, who was the one that created that narrative, and they had nothing to do with it. But the more the files come out, the more names, the more government officials, the more people that a lot of people look up to are coming out in these files. Well, even rappers, as in Pusha T, Jay-Z, Eminem. But you know what? I'm not even going to put Pusha T in that level because there's no evidence and proof that he did anything wrong, just as much as Eminem. But the government officials are the ones that need to be appointed in this because it's the government officials that have the power enough to pull Epstein out the way and make sure that he didn't talk, he didn't speak, or he didn't give his, you know what I'm saying, his truth to the story or what's really going on. So I'm here, just like others that are taking the risk to say the truth and to put the truth out there of how many people are within the Epstein files and how many government officials have to do with the nasty, disgusting behavior and satanic rituals that took upon that island. There is no way that they can hide it. How you doing? Videos, how you doing? Tyria, how you doing? Thank you so much for coming in. I'm talking about the government officials that are tied up with Epstein, and now they're accusing Donald Trump of murdering Epstein. He's being accused by the government that he murdered Epstein. And these government officials have everything to do. There's so many of them that are going to come out in the Epstein files. There's 3 million pages within the Epstein files itself. And so many names are coming out. Baseball players, government officials, actors, like I said on my last video. And the most disgusting thing about it is that they try to cover it up. They try to hide the facts. They try to hide the files. But it's all coming out now. This is disgusting that for decades they were doing this to victims and they were getting away with it. But they like to call the minority, they like to call black people and Latin people the delinquents, the ones that are thugs, that are gangsters, that perform all these type of sickness things in the streets. But it's them that's doing it. It's them that are providing this type of fucking behavior. It's disgusting. You know what I mean? So it's time for these government officials to be exposed. Because I'm going to tell you something. When it comes to Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, don't y'all know that they were in them islands? And there's a painting in Epstein's Island of Bill Clinton wearing a blue dress with high heels on. And Hillary Clinton dressed as I don't even know what the fuck she was wearing, but it looked demonic. It looked sick. And they have that painting hanged in one of Epstein's, you know what I'm saying, section in his mansion within the island itself. But you see, you also got celebrities that are now being exposed and being in this type of activities. But the thing that gets me is that they neglect everything. They don't want to be blamed for nothing. Nothing is ever their fault. That's the ridiculous shit about all this, is that they're denying it, and they're the ones that are coming out in these files. Elon Musk, Bill Gates, politicians, campaign parties, Republicans, Democrats, even independent, you know what I'm saying, people, and big time, the ones that you don't see, very powerful people that are coming out, that are trying to cover it up in the news, the media, anywhere, so it won't be exposed. And that's the scary part about it. But you see, you got people like me, and you got people like Ticket TV, and you got others that are exposing the nature and behavior and disrespect and the environment of these people that are sick as fuck. These people need to be apprehended, they need to be arrested, and they need to be taken away. You know how many victims are out there right now asking for justice? You know how many victims cry every day that they will never be the same because of the injustice and the inhumanity and the disrespect and the way that they were violated, they were tormented, they were molested, they were raped, they were beaten, they were torturally, mentally, and physically taken out of their elements and suffering to a point where that even some committed suicide. It's terrible, man. And it's fucked up that the government is not taking responsibility and they're not doing anything, and all they want to do is just hide these files. Well, it's too late for that now. Let me see what's going to be their excuse. And now Donald Trump is being named and accused as the one that, you know, orchestrated Epstein's murder. Oh, this is only going to get worse. It's only going to get ugly for a lot of people. And I know a lot of government officials are going to go down. Even actors are going to go down. Even the ones that we look up to, that we see and idolize as good people, are all going to get fucked. Believe me when I tell you. Please make sure you press the like button when you come in. Make sure that, you know, you subscribe to my channel. I talk about everything, but this is one subject that I will be talking about a lot more. You see, I had a lot of other channels that YouTube deleted permanently because I will talk about the government in this way, and I will expose a lot of government officials for their nasty behavior and their elite status when it comes to rituals, when it comes to elite powers, and when it comes for them of getting away with so much shit because they got so much power. That's it. Enough is enough. So please make sure you press the like button, subscribe to my channel, and if you would like to donate on my Cash App, it's right there on my page. You know what I'm saying? You'll see it right down on the front of my page, which is, you know, JAHLOSONATION. Y'all feel free if y'all want to, but I need to talk about this. I want to talk about this. The world needs to know about this. Why? Because they're getting away with it, and they've been doing it for decades. All that shit that people be believing, no, the government is there for us. The government is here to liberate us and fight for our country and fight for our civil rights and make sure that we're protected and that we're safe. No, the fuck they're not. Do you know that it's the powerful people that conduct to this evil shit, that conduct to these rituals, that conduct to this satanic shit? That's why Donald Trump is so scared right now. And they pointing at him as if he was the one that had Mr. Epstein murdered. That's fucking crazy how everything turns around and it backflashes to the same ones that look at Latins and blacks and even some whites into them being the delinquents and being the thugs and being the ones that are causing chaos and turmoil and danger to our own streets. Look what they doing to our daughters. Look what they doing to minors. Look what they doing to... How many kids you think disappear every year in the United States? How many kids you think that are vanishing from the United States? If you count, and if you make the count of how many kids end up missing every year, it's because they're being abducted, they're being kidnapped, and they're taken into this world that is called trafficking. And guess what? Billionaires have a lot to do with that. And if you go to the dark web, you will see what I'm talking about. The dark web exposes everything, and especially when it comes to the government and what they do when it comes to the sex trafficking, prostitution, and they grab your kids and they turn them out, they drug them out, they bug them out, and your child is never the same. Even if they captured and are home to come back safe to be with their family, they will never be the same. And it's these government officials that are making that shit happen. The files get bigger and bigger and bigger each time it gets leaked. Of course it does. What's up, my boy? I see you in here. Hey, thank you for the love for all the videos, my dog. And thank you for always showing love and appreciation to all the videos, my boy. Thank you so much. What is it, Man Goblin? All right, I'm gonna just call you Man Goblin. Thank you so much, you know what I'm saying, for always showing love and commenting on my videos. I really do appreciate it. And thank you for being on the live. But yeah, man, this shit needs to be exposed. It needs to be. Share my videos. If please, it will help me. Share my videos, subscribe to my channel, because it's gonna be a lot more of this content of me talking about Donald Trump, the government, and everybody that's implemented within the Epstein files and also the Epstein murder. I don't care what nobody said. I don't believe that Epstein hung himself. That's bullshit. I'm sorry to tell y'all. I don't believe that story. That story that sounds so fake and so pathetic. I laughed at it when I heard it. I believe they grabbed Epstein. They took him somewhere so he won't talk, because Epstein was ready to spill it all out. Remember, Epstein is a what? Registered sexual predator. And they had so much evidence on Epstein that if Epstein ain't talk, they were going to give Epstein life. He was never going to get out of prison. So Epstein said to himself, well, you know what? Hell no, fuck that. I'm finna go ahead and talk. If I'm going down, I'm taking everybody with me down. That's exactly what Epstein said. And just because of that motion, Donald Trump and everybody got together and decided to orchestrate a plan to get him out the way. And believe me, the government, when they plan something, they do it to the fullest, and they do it to the expectations where it's perfectly done without no mistakes. And believe me, Epstein had to pay the price. And that's exactly what the government does with everybody. And especially when it comes to situations like this. Oh, y'all thought that Epstein was just going to go ahead and just go and sit down and give testimony and snitch on everybody and point the fingers at everybody that he hanged around with and he was surrounded with in his circle, in his environment? No. They were going to put Epstein in his place. But next thing you know, oh yeah, Epstein hung himself. He killed himself. Man, how the fuck can a billionaire just decide to kill himself out of nowhere? That's bullshit. I don't believe that shit. I don't even believe what the news said. But you see, it's us that have to be the one to do our research. Do your own research. See what's going on. Put two and two together. And I guarantee you, a puzzle you will solve. And it's a puzzle that you don't want to see. It's a puzzle that's going to reveal so much secrecy, fuckery, and just the conspiracies and theories that are going to go along with the Epstein files. It's going to be diabolical. You understand what I'm saying? So please share my videos. Share my videos, like my videos, and, subscribe to my channel because, man, there is so much more that I will be doing and so much more that I will be reporting and so much more that needs to be exposed. And the more I find out, I'm going to make sure that I put it out there because it needs to be told. You know what I'm saying? The distraction with everything that's going on is the reason why a lot of people are not paying attention to this Epstein file and this Epstein case. But you know what? Y'all have to come to your senses because just like I said on my last video, it can be your child. It can be your niece. It can be your daughter. It can be your nephew. It can be anybody or loved one that probably meets one of these people, this evil, conniving, fucking demonic people, and then that child gets caught up, and next thing you know, that child's fucking life is destroyed, deteriorated, and they just don't want to know anything when it comes to happiness. Why? Because you got animals like Epstein and Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Bill Gates and so many others that conducting this fucking behavior. I'm not surprised that Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton are caught up with this. I'm not surprised at all. And the reason why is because when you are part of that agenda, when you are a part of that elite family, and you are a part within that circle, you have to do these rituals. You have to do these fucking nasty, satanic, diabolical things so you can be able to catch respect, be noticeable, have fame, have money, and be secure so you can secure your family and make sure that your family has everything. If you don't do it, then you ain't never going to get noticed. You ain't never going to have the respect, and you would never be, you know what I'm saying, out there on front gate like a Rushmore as if these people are. And that's exactly why. These people love to take control. They want control with their own nasty visions and nasty acts and just the propositions that they make and lie to these so-called, you know what I'm saying, propositions. And what they do to the victims is off the chain. It's for it not to happen. That dog, I'm even lost for words because it's so disgusting, man. You don't do that to a child. You don't do that to a kid. You don't do that to a little girl. No, man. But this is how government officials get away. This is the way that they see love, and especially the way into having fun. Doing diabolical, demonic, devil, disgusting shit that will leave your child traumatized and will leave your child just not even being themselves for the rest of their fucking lives, suffering and pain and tears, always watching over their backs, crying, can't even sleep, can't even stay focused, can't even be themselves around their family, can't laugh, can't smile because of the torture that they were put through. So please, y'all please like, subscribe to my channel because, man, I'm just starting. This is the beginning. Even if I get 2 or 3 people to see me, at least that's good enough. Why? Because the news will keep on spreading and my channel will keep on, hitting people right there on the table and they can see exactly what's going on. Y'all go ahead and subscribe to Ticket TV as well because he's the one that's really putting all this out there like this. You understand what I'm saying? So much respect to that man right there too. But yeah, this is getting out of hand. This Epstein shit is only getting worse by the fucking minute. And believe me when I tell you, they are going to try to deny it. They're going to try to fucking put it in a Pandora box, close it and throw it away like they do with innocent people that they put in prison and they throw away the key. That's exactly what they doing. I want you to take a close look at that thumbnail. Those are just some that are named within the Epstein files. There are so many more. Michael Jackson is even mentioned in the Epstein file. Michael Jackson chilled with Epstein, party with Epstein. Michael Jackson, y'all. I would never think that Michael Jackson would never be caught up with Epstein. Well, guess what? He partied with Epstein in the late 80s, early 90s. I got pictures to prove it. So every artist and everybody that you think are not capable or was not capable of being around Epstein are around Epstein. You know how many football players, basketball players, actors, big activists, politicians, and government officials are in that Epstein file? Listen, if I just start to there's so much to be exposed when it comes to the Epstein files. There are so many people that never would have thought that their name would be exposed. You understand? Look at Sierra's husband, Russell. Sierra's husband, Russell, was also implemented in the Epstein files. Damn. And he cleared it up. You know, he went and did an interview and he said that it's all a lie. He was never, within the Epstein circle and environment, but he's in the Epstein files. And anyone that's within the Epstein files and you chilling with Epstein or you chilled with Epstein, they're going to look at you the same way they looked at Epstein. And Donald Trump knew if Epstein was gonna talk and tell the government officials what the fuck was really going on and how everything started from the beginning to the end and how they managed it, how they rotated, how they perfected it to being what it was. Epstein would have taken everybody down. And that's why Donald Trump now is accused of Epstein's murder. That shit is crazy. But you know what? Donald Trump has that type of mentality. Bro, you're going to snitch on me? You're going to do something bad when me and you are boys? Well, I'm going to take your ass out. That's Donald Trump's mentality. Donald Trump don't give a fuck. And Epstein knew that his life was in danger once he cooperated and wanted to tell the FBI everything from beginning to end, and how everything was orchestrated, how did they plan everything, how they, put everything together, and were doing it for decades. Who, what, where, when, how, all that. Epstein was going to tell the whole fucking world what was happening within that island. And Donald Trump said, fuck that, no. Covfefe, that's Donald Trump's favorite word, by the way. Covfefe, which means nothing, but he said it. And for people not to realize that Epstein did not hang himself. Epstein didn't kill himself. This is a billionaire that we talking about. This man had enough money to fucking disappear to never be found for the rest of his life. But the government caught up to him, and the FBI already had their eyes on him, and also the CIA, because a lot of people within the island were reporting nasty shit. Kids were coming up missing, and they will show up in that island. And then out of nowhere, they will be let go, and they wondering, damn, hold on, I was just here about a minute ago. Now I'm in the city, lost. I don't know who my parents are. I don't know where my family is at. Why? Because that's what the trafficking does. You know what I'm saying? And if it's for you to speculate that maybe me and others that are reporting this are taking this to an extreme or we exaggerated, well, I got news for you. It just came out that Donald Trump has been accused of Epstein's murder. If you do your research, you will find out exactly what I'm talking about. There's so many people that are connected within that nature itself, and it's only going to get worse with time. And just like you said, Goblin, the files only get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. There is no way that we just gonna look at this and say, yeah, dog, you know what? let me see. Perform action about double tapping. No. And you know what? It's only gonna get worse with time. It's only gonna get bigger. More names are gonna come out. More people are gonna be exposed. But the story and the matter of the fact is that Donald Trump is the number one suspect of Mr. Epstein being killed and being murdered. He didn't commit suicide. So I know right now Donald Trump is madder than a motherfucker that they implementing him into being the number one suspect to Epstein's murder. Why? Because Epstein did not commit suicide. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. But you see, one thing is for sure, and one thing is guaranteeable, and one thing is very, very clear. Donald Trump knows that if more gets put out there, that there will be no use and he will have nothing to lose. And he will do whatever it takes to make sure that his name is not put out there more or what it already is, because he is trying his best to let the people know, but also dealing with what he's dealing with already. He will pay whatever it is to cover up the motherfucking story and to cover up that he is the suspect and the number one suspect who murdered Epstein. So now it's not a suicide case. Now it's a murder case. Now they looking at the Epstein, you know what I'm saying, so-called suicide. Now they're looking at it as a murder case. And Donald Trump has been named the number one suspect. Ain't that some crazy shit? Don't you find that suspicious? Got me acting like Umar Davis and shit. Like Umar Johnson, I mean. Don't y'all find that suspicious, y'all? That Mr. Donald Trump, the one that tried every bit, every day to hide them files, is now being called the number one suspect in Epstein's murder. Listen, man, this is deeper. This is deeper than the government. This is deeper than the White House. This is deeper than Republicans. This is deeper than the fucking motherfuckers that be in the White House, Republicans, fucking governors, mayors, senators. This is bigger than that. This is Donald Trump right now shitting in his pants, saying to himself, how the fuck did I become the number one suspect in Epstein's murder when he committed suicide? No, buddy, you took him out. And the reason why you took him out is because he was going to get ready to talk. He was going to get ready to put everybody out there, and especially you, because you was his partner in crime. You was the one that collaborated with him and started doing all this trafficking, and especially the Universe Beauty or Miss Universe. Donald Trump is the owner of that shit. He owns that shit. And for decades, they only get the majority of girls that go to Miss University or Miss Universal, whatever the name of that fucking shit is, are minors. 14, 15, 16. They just make sure they put enough makeup and, dress them up like they're women and make them look more like women when they nothing but teenagers. And the stories that these women have given, that they will promise money, they will promise houses, they will promise a luxurious fame life, but they had to give up something, they had to sacrifice something, and if they didn't, they took it from them. It's just like Donald Trump was accused of playing with himself as he's looking as one of the Miss Universals, and he forced her into grabbing her hand and putting it in his private part so she can play with it. And as she's saying, no, please let me go, please let me go, him and Epstein forced the girl into the room, and y'all already know what happened. So you see, we're dealing with monsters that don't care about your kids. And just because they got this type of money, they feel that they can get away. If that's the case, why did Donald Trump did what he did, and now him being implemented and being the number one suspect into Epstein's murder? That speaks volumes. because Donald Trump has been accused by so many women. And every time they ask him, did you do it? No, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. I'm innocent. I'm innocent. Like I said before, if it's one woman that's trying to get your bag, that's understandable, because it happens to rappers, it happens to politicians, it happens to any dude that's normal, hardworking dude that lives a middle class life, or that lives poor. It happens. But when you talking about 50 to 100 women just saying the same thing. Yeah, Donald Trump did this to me. Donald Trump touched me this way. Donald Trump inappropriately touched my breast or touched my booty, or he wanted me to ejaculate him. All that. And it's almost more than 100 women that have accused this man of the same shit. But what hurts me the most is that one young lady said that Donald Trump tied her up with rope and he grabbed his cigar and he burned her. Like, you know what I'm saying? How you just go ahead and grab a cigar and just put it out, but you just tap it and shit. That's exactly what he was doing to the girl's skin. He was tapping his tobacco where it was lit up into her skin. And she had the burn marks to prove it. And guess what? Donald Trump got away with it. He never got accused of what he did. So you see, Epstein was not only going to say all the nasty and disgusting shit that him and Donald Trump did with minors, but he was going to also expose him in the way where Donald Trump knew if he had that type of, moment to go ahead and expose him to that nature, Donald Trump would have gone down and he would have seen prison for the rest of his fucking life. And Donald Trump did not want that. Donald Trump ran from Epstein and was like, bruh, if this man puts me out there like that, I'm going to have to retaliate. And guess what? He retaliated because he knew that Epstein was cooperating and gave the FBI enough information to even implement him in that direction. Why do you think that the FBI, before this new FBI director got fired? Why do you think that? Just think about it for a minute. Because Donald Trump wanted him fired. Because he knew if he didn't fire the ex-FBI director, he was going to get on that ass. He was going to make sure that Donald Trump went down, or he was accused, or he would go ahead and expose what Epstein would have told them and gave them as evidence and proof. That's why Donald Trump surrounded himself and selected who he wanted in the office, who he wanted as the FBI director. You know what I'm saying? Who he wanted as the ambassador. And Donald Trump always knew, I cannot have nobody that knows Epstein around me, because that person might open their mouth and expose everything that happened in that island. So I'm going to go ahead and disappear and stay quiet. And every time they mention Epstein's name, I'm going to act like I don't even know. I'm going to act like, you know what? Epstein who? Who are you talking about? I don't know Epstein. Yeah, we party here and there. You know what I'm saying? We did our thing, but nothing to that nature. And he didn't talk about Epstein for months. Everything was put on the side because he knew that them files were going to come out. And he was expecting it. But he wasn't expecting it so early. He wasn't expecting it to hit so hard and be out and be exploited in that level. And the Republicans and the Democrats saw it suspicious that a president will not want to come out with them files or allow them to be publicly, viewed by the public itself or viewed by the government officials that work with him in the White House. He was terrified. So that's why Donald Trump is now being accused of the Epstein murder, because Epstein was going to fry him. Epstein was going to snitch on him and Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. He was going to snitch on everybody. And Donald Trump wasn't having it. And right now, as we speak, Donald Trump is facing other accusations and allegations of women that have called him out for SA. And now he also got a deal with him being named the #1 suspect in the Epstein murder. What does that tell you? He's fucked. And he knows it. But you know what? They don't want to take him out as president. They don't want to impeach him. They should impeach this dude. This dude ain't doing nothing but destroying the fucking world, especially the United States. He is destroying every bit of it. Look what he's doing with ICE. Look what he did in that fucking interview tape. Talked about our black brothers and sisters. I mean, called them names that I don't even want to mention because it's so disrespectful. Not only that, he's also in trial for a lot of other shit that implements the same thing that is implemented Epstein in the Epstein files. And he's been doing it for decades. This ain't new for Donald Trump. Donald Trump has been doing this shit for decades, man. This dude is sick. And Epstein was even more sicker than him. And then it's to implement others, as in Jay-Z, Puff Daddy, and so many others that were involved in this fucking environment. Donald Trump does not want that to come out publicly. But guess what? We already know. Donald Trump, wake the fuck up. We know that you are a sick individual. And now that we know that you are the #1 suspect to Epstein's murder, where are you going to run? What story are you going to invent? What are you going to tell America? Huh? You're going to turn around and tell America, no, I had nothing to do with it, just like you do every time a woman points the finger at you and say, he did this to me? You ain't even apologize to the women that have accused you of the most horrendous shit and most disgusting shit that I've ever heard in my life. You haven't even apologized to one of them. You know what I think? I think you hate women. I think you hate women for real. You are a very disgusting man. You have no type of morals or respect for our queens, for our women, for our sisters that work within the government and that are hardworking women. Now, the ones that are on the other side that you have fun with, like Daniel Storm and all that, that's a different story. Those are hoes that all they care about was a bag. So I can't say nothing about that. I'm talking about the victims that you victimized, that you hurted, that you burned with your fucking cigar, that you SA, that you molested, that you forced to do the most disgusting things. And there's so much more to come out. There's so much more evidence that we haven't even heard within the Epstein files. And believe me when I tell you, they will come out. And when they do, Donald Trump will be nowhere to be found. If Donald Trump doesn't leave the country, it'll be a fucking miracle. Because I'm telling you, there's more of Donald Trump being implemented in the Epstein files. There's so much more evidence. I'm telling you, Donald Trump is going to end up crashing. He's going to end up deteriorating. He's going to end up suffering. And he already is suffering, what is it, skin disease? Or a type of skin disease that is turning his skin into like an orange color and shit. So he's already going through enough health-wise. As excuse me, I had to clear my throat, my bad. You know what I'm saying? He's already going through so much himself, but he still wants to be this disgusting person like fucking Epstein, like fucking Weinstein, like Bill Gates. And that's another person that I want to specifically say This dude does not give a fuck about human life. There's a prescription of aspirins that they had in the pharmacy years ago that were fucking up people if they drunk it. So he decided to take it to Africa, and it killed thousands of Africans. And guess what? He never got implemented for their murders. So you see, if you're a billionaire, you can get away with whatever you want. But guess what? Once the FBI comes at you, and they got all the evidence and proof that they need to make an arrest, you best believe that you're not coming out no time soon. And most cases, when it comes to RICO cases, there's a 98% winning percentage of every defendant pleading guilty or being found guilty. So you see, Donald Trump, strap up, get ready, put on your best suit and your best tie, because there's so much more evidence and proof that is going to link you into the Epstein files. You disgusting son of a bitch. You got daughters, man. And you even found and flirt with your daughters in a way that a father doesn't even do. You see, already you showed us, and you've been showing us the type of individual you was. And you always been like that. But you know what? You was afraid of Epstein because you knew Epstein knew everything and knows everything and was going to put everything on the table. And now you're the number one suspect to his murder. Wow. But it's no surprise, because I already knew that something drastic and more crazier was going to come out within the files. And if you read the files, it specifically says everything that you need to know: how they ran the business, how they conducted the business, who knew what, who was appointed, who was the importance, who was there, you know what I'm saying, when it was time to make calls to get other peoples to disappear, when they talk too much, everything. Epstein, it's like he wrote a documentary about the whole scenario. This man perfected everything. And Donald Trump was right with him the whole time. So you see, there's more to what it exceeds to his own expectations. So without further ado, I want to tell everybody, y'all get ready, because there's so much to come when it comes to shit like this. And Donald Trump is going to be the main one and the main character and the main person that is going to be exposed more than anybody else. Why? Because Donald Trump was the right-hand man of Epstein. And not only that, he's also was a fucking president of doing that. He was a master and a fucking controlling devil son of a bitch that conducted himself just as worse as Epstein did, if not even worse, because when you get pigs and nasty fucks that way, that behave in that nature, they have no remorse. They don't feel sorry, and they do everything to hurt. That's what gives them the satisfaction. That's what makes them feel good. That's what makes them sleep good at night, knowing that they can destroy victims without even thinking about it. Disgusting motherfuckers, man. I can't stand that, bruh. But that's the world that we're living in. So without further ado, I just want to say thank you for everybody that came in. Please like, share, subscribe, and share the video. Please share my videos, because I'm going to tell you, the more they get out there, the more people will see. And they will open their eyes and start doing their research and looking at this president for what he really is. And for all the government officials for what they really and who they really are. So please like, share, subscribe, and share this video. I would definitely appreciate it. But this is your boy JAHLOSO. Y'all already know what it is. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate it. But before I leave, I want everybody to comment me down if y'all feel that Donald Trump had anything to do with Epstein's murder, and we'll go from there. There's your boy. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.